I've seen the same story play out over and over. Someone splurges on a cheap pool cleaning robot, watches it sputter on the first weekend, and ends up spending more time untangling the mess than actually swimming. The regret is real, especially when you've already paid for pool chemicals, a cover, and that occasional service call. That's why I wanted to see if the Sexiquidem cordless robot pool vacuum could be the smarter alternative that actually delivers on its promises without the hidden headaches. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The first question that pops into most people's heads is whether you really need a robot at all. If you're the type who spends an hour or two each week scooping leaves, scrubbing the waterline with a brush, and watching the filter bag fill up, a robot can feel like a luxury you don't truly need. But if you've got a larger in-ground pool, a busy schedule, or just hate the constant back and forth between the ladder and the filter, the convenience factor starts to look a lot more appealing. The Sequedem model positions itself as a Satan-Forget solution that promises both wall climbing ability and waterline cleaning, which are the two spots most manual tools miss. When I first dug into the pool cleaner market, the biggest pain point that kept surfacing in reviews was reliability. Many of the budget models advertised a long runtime, but could barely finish a quarter of the pool before the battery died, leaving users to manually finish the job. Others boasted smart navigation, but ended up getting stuck in the stairs or on the pool's lip. That's why the extended runtime and quick recharge claim caught my eye. A 90-minute work cycle, paired with a 2-hour charge time, is actually decent for an average 12 by 24-foot pool. In practice, you can drop the robot in after a swim, let it run its full cycle, and have it back at the dock before you're ready for the next dip. The fast charging feature means you're not stuck waiting all weekend for a full battery, which is a real time saver for families that swim on a schedule. What separates this unit from the generic knockoffs is its smart self-parking feature. The robot uses a magnetic docking station that pulls it in once the battery hits a preset low point. I've seen cheaper versions that simply float around aimlessly until they run out, forcing you to retrieve them manually, an extra chore that defeats the purpose of a robot. With the Sequedem, the docking process feels smooth. The unit aligns itself and slides into the charger without you having to intervene. It's not a perfect system. Occasionally the robot will take a few extra seconds to lock in if the water is very turbulent, but it's a clear improvement over the just float and hope approach. Now, let's talk navigation. The robot's advanced intelligent navigation uses a combination of infrared sensors and a simple mapping algorithm to avoid obstacles like pool ladders, steps, and the waterline edge. In real-world testing, it handled a typical vinyl-lined pool with a couple of diving boards without getting stuck. The wall climbing capability is especially handy for those with deep corners or vertical glass panels. In my own pool, the robot actually scaled the 8-inch wall and cleaned the underside, a spot that usually collects algae and dust. That's a win that most manual brushes miss. But no product is without trade-offs. The first limitation you'll notice is size. The robot measures roughly 14 inches wide, which means it can't squeeze through very narrow ladders or tight spar connections. If your pool has a skinny stairwell or an unusually narrow overflow, you'll have to either remove the robot temporarily or accept that those spots stay untouched. The second issue is noise. While it's not deafening, the motor hum is noticeable once you're in the pool area, especially on a quiet evening. For most users this is a minor annoyance, but if you plan to run it while you're having a backyard dinner, you might want to schedule it for an off hour. Another practical consideration is maintenance. The debris collection bin is straightforward to empty, but the filter mesh can get clogged if you have a lot of fine sand or pollen in the water. You'll need to rinse it after each cycle to keep suction optimal. The good news is the design is tool-free. You just pop the bin out, dump the debris, and give the filter a quick rinse under a garden hose. It's a step up from older models that required you to unscrew a housing or use a separate cleaning brush. Who should buy this robot? If you have a medium-tonnage in-ground pool, swim at least twice a week, and value a hands-off cleaning routine, this is a solid match. It also makes sense for busy households where the pool is shared among kids, pets, and adults. The robot can keep the water clear without demanding daily attention from anyone. For homeowners who are meticulous about water chemistry and already run a high-efficiency filtration system, the robot can act as a complementary tool, tackling debris that filters might miss. Who should